Hello everyone, welcome to our today lecture. In our today lecture, we are going to discuss that how to measure economic development. Basically, there are three methods to measure economic development. First one is real national income approach or the GNP approach, and the second one is real per capita income approach, and the third and the most widely used method is HDI, which is known as Human Development Index. So now let's discuss each of the method one by one. The first method is real national income approach. In this method, we say that when every country gross national product is increasing over a long time period of time, then we consider that particular country as that he is moving towards economic development. So we also have clear idea about that what is mean by GNP or real GNP. Real GNP means that total output of final goods and services produced in a country in real terms rather than in monetary terms. So it means that must be adjusted with inflation. And keep in mind that if there is a short-term increase in national income, it doesn't mean that the country is moving towards economic development. So, for saying that any country is moving toward economic development, it is necessary that there is a long-term increase in the real national income. There are certain limitations attached to this method. First is that inequality in distribution of income. Real national income can be increased due to the increase in income of those people who are already rich. So if overall GDP increases, it doesn't mean that living standard of the every individual in the society has been increased. So there is chance that there is inequality in distribution of income. There may be possibility that less people have more income and more people have less income. So the first issue in the real national income method is that inequality in distribution of income. And the second limitation of this method is that ignoring the cost of society. Basically, the cost of society is that, as you know, that uh, in underdeveloped countries and developing countries, uh, people are moving from rural to urban sectors. So when people are moving from rural to urban sector, they there is huge crowd in urban sector already, and when people move from rural to urban sector, they are increasing this crowd. So people are cutting the trees, they are affecting the environment, there is pollution in the country. So the second thing is that you are growing, you are producing more number of goods, but the major thing is that how much you are destroying your environment. If you are less destroying your environment and your grow is higher, you are growing at a higher speed, then there is no issue in it. But if you are disturbing more of your environment and you are growing at a less speed, then it is a alarming situation for your country. And the third issue in this method is the statistical data. So the major issue in the underdeveloped and developing countries that they don't have sufficient data. So when you have don't accurate data, then how you can calculate your national income accurately. So there are these three limitation of this method, that first one is inequality in distribution of income, the second one is ignoring the cost of society, and the third limitation of this method is that statistical data, that you don't have accurate data for the measurement of real national income. And the second method is that real per capita income approach. Basically, how you can calculate real per capita income: when you divide your gross national income with your total population, it will give you the per capita income. So according to this approach, if the real per capita income of a country is increasing over a long time period of time, then you can say that that particular country is moving toward development. So there are also certain limitation to this method. The first one is similar to the previous, that is statistical data, that people does not show their actual income. They do this because they are not willing to show their actual income in order to avoid the tax. So if we don't have the accurate data, so how can we measure the per capita income? And the second one is inequality in distribution of wealth. Maybe your per capita income is higher due to the more income of less people in the society. For example, if there are 10 students in a class, and if I ask about the pocket money of every student, and out of those 10 students, 8 students have pocket money more than 5,000 and 2 students have only pocket money for their week or month is 200 or like 500. So when we calculate per capita per head income, so we have to divide all these with 10. So it will give us a larger answer, which indicate that average income, average pocket money of those students is round about 4,000 or 5,000. But in actual term, there are some people who are living below the poverty line. So there are certain limitations attached to this method, and the most two important limitations are statistical data and inequality in distribution of income. And the third method for the measurement of economic development, which is most and widely used, that is Human Development Index or HDI. It was introduced by Dr. Mahbub al-Haq in 1970s. Basically, they have used three major indicators, that is income index, life expectancy index, and education index. And they have given equal weightage of 1/3 to each indicator. So this method gives us the accurate situation of any country. So if we want to compare between two countries, we have to look at the HDI of these two countries. HDI answer lies between 1 to 0. But keep in mind that it cannot be 1 and it cannot be 0. Why it cannot be 0? For the existence of 0, all these values should be 0. Then only in this situation HDI is 0. So for example, we have to put 0 here, we have to put 0 here, and we have to put 0 here. So it is not possible that in any country income level is 0, life expectancy is 0, and education index 0. So it is not possible that HDI is 0. Similarly, HDI cannot be 1. It is only possible that HDI can be 1 that if income index is 100%, life expectancy is 100%, and education index is 100%. So it is not possible. So what is the situation that HDI lies between 0 to 1? If HDI is close to 1, then it means that that particular country is highly developed. And if HDI close to 0, it means that that particular country is less developed or underdeveloped. And if HDI is close to 0.5 or 0.6, then it means that that particular country is moving towards development.